Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the podcast The Journey is the Destination. We are Emma and Christian, and we'll be talking with interesting people we meet on our travels. Hello, Christian.
Hey Emma, hello everyone. It's a pleasure to do this. I'd like to say a quick word about who we are. So, to tell the long story in the shortest possible way, we are two young people who come from Slovenia and are currently traveling around New Zealand whilst exploring life in its fullest, seeing what it has to offer, learning, working, doing whatever comes our way, and apparently a podcast came our way. As I see it, the most amazing part of being on a journey, literally traveling around, is meeting new people and creating deep, strong connections through conversations which can go as deep as you can imagine and even further. And this is why I'm so excited to share these conversations or a little excerpts with everyone, so we can all enjoy, learn and marvel at the world together.
So this podcast is gonna be a place of acceptance and no judgment, and the idea is to talk with beautiful people from all over the world with completely different life stories, completely different views, perspectives on life, and to just accept what they have to offer, to learn from it, to grow with them, and to see how different we all are, but still so beautiful in this.
Yeah, I believe that every person carries with them a big lesson that we can take from them at any moment, but as well every person, in my view, is an expert in something, and we can all, as long as we are ready to accept it and look for it, even invest some time in it, we can discover what they are so good at that we can just live the conversation the most inspired we've ever been, carry on with our lives better.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you're willing to learn, everyone can teach you something.
So yeah, to anyone who hasn't met any new person lately, this will be a perfect substitute. I wish you all to meet as many beautiful people as possible, as well on our podcast and as in real life. I wish you beautiful travels, I wish you beautiful sights and lessons, but my wish is as well that we can be of service to you and bring you one lesson that you really needed right now from every conversation that you listen to.
For anyone that wants to join the conversation or tell us something, give us some ideas.
Or even join us on the podcast from afar.
Yeah. Even to do the interview with you, if you think you have something amazing to tell everyone. There's gonna be a Discord channel open for discussion, and we'll put the link to that in the description. So feel free to join us.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you there.
Thank you for being with us. Lots of love.
Enjoy. Talk to you soon.
Bye bye.
Hello! You're listening to The Journey is the Destination, where we're meeting interesting people and learning about the world. We're Christian and Emma. Emma, hello.
Hello, Christian. So today we're talking with our beautiful friend Flo. She's got a very unique and interesting way of many things, of which we'll talk about consent, self-love, feminism, open relationships, and much, much more. So I hope you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for everyone to hear it. I like to add that our conversation was being recorded really organically. We're coming in and out, the noise was all around, but take it as it is. This is part of the journey. I don't think it should distract anyone from the beautiful points Flo has to offer. Also, by the end of conversation, we speak a little bit French, just for fun, for maybe a couple of minutes. So, if you speak French, you're welcome. If you don't,
just enjoy the beautiful poetry of French words and yeah, the sound of it.
I wish you all to have a nice experience, to enjoy this first conversation of ours, with many more to come, but without further ado, let's get into it.
On y va. Hello, Flo.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's nice to be here with you guys. It's a beautiful studio.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Thank you. We're so glad you came.
Yeah, we are here in Motueka, New Zealand, South Island. Yes.
Alright.
So okay, first thing, Do you want to introduce yourself the way you want to introduce yourself? So what can you say about yourself? What's your passion? What you like to do in your life? Whatever pops on your mind.
Okay. My name is Flo. I'm French. I'm in New Zealand. I've been in New Zealand for 1.5 years around. Thanks to the COVID, we all got a lot of time here compared to what it could have been.
Sure.
And it's a great time to have an inner journey in here. It's a really cool country, magical vibes, and I'm super happy to be here. Really grateful to be on this part of the world right now. On an inner journey myself. I turned 30 last year, so this is the beginning of a new decade for me, and I accomplished a lot of new stuff. I got my driving license, I got dreads, and I got new tattoos, and I'm on my way to learn to be alone again after a lot of time in couples. And yeah, basically on a inner and outer journey in New Zealand. I live in my van. This is the van community, and I'm super happy to do a podcast, to be creative, and to put something out in the world to share that creativity moment. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you again.
And that's amazing. Yeah.
Right. Thanks to the plane, it's gonna be like background noise.
Nice.
It's
Yes.
like live action.
It is. What would you say is your passion? What do you do in life?
I'm very curious, so I love to discover new stuff. Actually, I'm interested in absolutely everything, like everything. I'm interested in intellectual subjects, but also in material thing. I'm interested in fashion. I love to do photography. I used to love movie theater a lot, even though since I'm traveling, it's a bit less easily accessible. But I still love movies. I love animation a lot. I'm really, really into animation. Black and white movie, I really like the aesthetic also. Same for photography. And I like craft and art in general. Yeah, I'm interested in pretty much everything in life. I didn't find yet something that is not interesting at all for me.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, pretty like a lot circus stuff too, and I'm getting into the dancing, and I would love to get into theater, but it's still a big step. And poetry and songwriting is also definitely something I'm working on every day a little bit.
I feel I really enjoy everything that's new, like just trying a new thing and then getting into it and then going to another thing, and there's so many little things to get to know, to learn, to see.
And share people's passion. That's, for me, that's the most interesting. If someone can be passionate about something, then by being with that person and sharing that moment with them, then I get a glimpse of this passion myself, and that's what makes life completely magic. You know, the little sparkle that is something you never thought about before, and suddenly it's becoming like an art. You know, whatever it can be. As simple as words or colors, you know.
It's a special kind of connection when you find someone to share a passion with. It's so beautiful always.
And everything is accessible. That's what I love about creation. It's just about doing it. Just do it. Get inspired and do it. And I think that's what I love in life, being inspired and doing many things.
That's true. There's so much art. Like for me, I always see art it's kind of universal. So whatever art you do, you can do everything, but it's still just art, you know. It's still the same way of expressing yourself in 1,000 different ways. So at the end we all do different things, but they're all the same in the idea of it.
Yeah. And it's open-minding. It's
true.
The more you are interested in things, and the more you discover, you know, it's an unstoppable creating force.
Life flowing through you.
Yeah, really, really.
For me, it's beautiful to see when people have this passion for anything, like art, of course, but also other things. Once they are at this level that when you see them, you know it. You're just oh wow. Yeah. And then I can be excited by climbing ice or diving down into the ocean. Stuff like this. They're just wow, I'm inspired to do something
Exactly.
your force is keeping me going. It's beautiful.
Maybe it's this level of mastery, when they become like so into it, they become masters just because they love it so much.
Yes, absolutely. And maybe the thing I should work on in myself to be more productive would be to have more discipline, to stick to something so I can achieve a bit more of self-mastery and not being all over the place, like being good at a little bit of everything but really good at not one thing in particular. I think that's something I would like to work on.
That's
with
amazing.
Time, probably.
Actually, I feel it's the same because I also want to do so many things, and I feel like life is too short to try and master them all. Like, how can you choose one thing? Like, what is the one thing you want?
I know, and me, I get bored really easily. After starting something new, it's super magic, and then I get bored. And recently, I met that amazing guy. He's called Sip. He's a French guy. I met him in Takaka, and he was telling me, the minute you start getting bored, you start getting good. So if you stop at that moment, you're destroying any chance you will ever have to get good at anything. And for him, that's how he does everything in his life. He reached the state of boredom and push even harder after that. That's the first sign that he's getting good at something.
That's interesting.
So I was like, wow, I'm gonna try.
I never thought it that way.
It's inspiring, isn't it? Because
it's a lot of this perseverance in every mastery. It's like a lot of hours spent alone, just drilling one thing or doing one thing, even if it's boring, if it's. But you have this push that's keeping you going.
Yeah, and for him, it's really a good sign, like a positive sign of like you getting that, you getting there. Keep on going. It's actually an encouragement instead of being like I'm gonna switch to something else.
For me, it's always, whenever I meet people who are not from my hometown, it's always interesting to ask about where they're from. So basically, I would like to know where you're from, how would you describe your home, how would you describe what's there, the people, whatever is important to you.
I come from Paris. I'm born inside of Paris, so there is two Paris. There is inside of Paris and there is the outer, we call it La Banlieue. It's really two different lives because the outer of Paris is like more like houses and small gardens and smaller cities where everything is kind of also furthest away. Like you have to take your car and stuff like that. If you live inside of Paris, we're really living in apartments, in buildings, and everything is close by. You can walk to everything or take public transportation. So it's a link to life and to time that is super different. So me, I'm born straight inside of Paris. It's a very busy, high, fast-paced environment. I had to go away from it to understand that, but all my childhood, for me, was just very normal to do a lot of things, and there's not much nature over there, which is probably one of the reasons why I'm really happy that I left. But culturally, it's insane. Like, it's really good, like really, really good. I'm so grateful I'm from that place. It gave me an access on the entire world. Like, I know other countries exist. I know they are important. I know how important it is to speak English, even though I was not too much into it. And I had access to many exhibitions, museums, movie theaters, a lot. It was a great place to develop an artistic, intellectual mind.
Whenever I'm speaking with French people, it's, for example, talking about what's been lost in Corona times. They all start with movie theaters, art galleries, stuff like this. So again, you're saying this as like the priority. I feel, of course, when I'm in France, you see it everywhere, but still, like, it's so high in everyone's mind and important.
It's so important. It's so important. And if if this podcast is gonna be shared, let's say it to everyone. Paris is not a romantic city. It's a dirty city with way too many people to have the space to have romance. So it's very, very overrated in terms of romantic possibilities. People are really harsh and not always really polite, so that's not the place where you would like to take your love to have a time together. I would not recommend Paris at all. At all. Like, so sorry for everyone that thinks that this is their wedding destination. It's the worst possible choice for a wedding destination, except if you have a lot of money and you can afford to offer yourself those places that are protected from the crowd. For the rest of us, normal, like peasant, exactly, it's absolutely the city of culture. It's amazing architecture everywhere, like everywhere. It's palace and history, and it's so rich in terms of buildings that tells you a lot about the past. And there is like more than 20 museums in there, in the whole Paris. Museum as fucked up are like, you can have like modern art museum that have like really new concept. Super interesting, but you also have a tiny museum that is the Museum of Magic, with that explain you all the tricks of old school magic, going all the way to Egyptians that were making, thanks to super intelligent system, they were making things move with vapor, water, vapor, and so just by heating another place, it was going into a conduct and it would make something else move. And they would pretend, obviously, it was religious and magic. But yeah, it's the whole history of magic in this tiny, creepy place, you know? You've been there?
Yeah.
I love it!
No, I love Paris. Like, for the art eyes of mine, I see it as like so much love, actually, because there's so much art everywhere in it. So from the heart, everything. It's so much expression that... For me, it feels like a lot of love there, but yeah, I know what you're thinking about. Like, it's so much tourists and people. For you living there, that must be completely different.
Yeah. Me, if I take someone to visit Paris, it will be really like the cool monuments, cool view over Paris, and museum, movie theater, exhibition, theater, everything, everything cultural.
So much.
And then you will never get bored, and you will fall in love with Paris for sure. 100% sure.
It's beautiful also because under 26 years old, I think, you can visit all the museums for free. So I was just going around Paris, going to museums.
I know.
I love that.
Let me in, thank you.
Absolutely. I turned 26. That was the saddest birthday of my life. You know, people are sad when they reach 30 or 25. For me, it was 26. Was like, no way. No more free stuff.
Now when you reminded me of that, I so want to go to Paris right now.
Time's running out.
Shit, people. We need to do that.
That would have. Yeah, that's great. But there's many ways in Paris to access culture for free. Paris is really like well organized for that. You can go to opera, for example. You can see an opera. They are recording opera piece and projecting it in movie theater. And if you go on certain days for very cheap, like for $7, you can see a whole opera in the movie theater after it's been recorded. And then for €10, you can go to the opera itself whenever they have like space available. You go at the last minute just before the show, and if there is space left, you can have your space for $10, for €10. So it's super well organized to be accessible. Actually, culture is really thought as a really common good, and it's amazing. Paris is like a really interesting cultural city for that.
So what do you miss the most? Art or
movie theaters?
Movie theaters?
Yeah. Definitely cinema is what I miss the most. Tiny cinema that have screens smaller than what we have in our own houses nowadays. Yeah. Like, and wooden seats and